Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Eli's Corner today. This is episode 98 of this episode of Eli's Corner. I'm your host, Eli here, and this is Eli's Corner. Here we go. Woo! Can't believe it. It's been a crazy week of sports. So much to go on, so much to talk about today. We got the NFL, a little bit of college. We got some NBA, NHL, of course, I got to talk about. Also, we're going to talk about Formula One coming up. This big Las Vegas Grand Prix. It's a tight race right now, so things are going to be going up on that. A little bit of men's basketball and some other things that we'll talk about on this episode on 98 of Eli's Corner today. Thank you guys for joining in. We're going to just talk it off and start it off actually, as we always do, the NFL. As you know, this week is now week 11. We just had a game last night, the Bills against the Texans, and a big upset. The Texans won. I think this boosts their momentum of playing. Another heartbreaking loss for the Buffalo Bills. Now they are 7-4, and it's looking like their chances of trying to get that division are slimming. But you know what? Things can change in weeks to come, so we don't know what happens, whatever is going to go on. But mainly, I think it was a good win for Houston, because Houston needs this. They are now 6-5. They're 4-2 at home, which is not bad. It's not a bad record right now to start to be in the season. It's just the away part. I mean, I know they haven't had CJ Stroud right now. I think he's battling with an injury. But man, I mean, they got the win. Some people are like, should they even keep starting? They should just keep Mills going on, or keep Stroud in. Like they don't know exactly, but there's some fans that think that they should just let CJ Stroud just go to the bench for a little bit and just see what's going on. But I don't know. That could intake something. Who knows? Whatever it is, but a really big win at the game ending. There was a game-winning interception that the Texans defense came out and they pulled it out in the gritty win. And the Bills look clueless. I mean, there's so much going on. Keon Coleman was another healthy scratch again. We don't know what's going on. He may be gone as a Buffalo Bill. I'm just so shocked, because I thought that he was going to flourish with Josh Allen as his quarterback, but it just hasn't really clicked. Hopefully, he gets another shot this season. I don't know. The Bills need to figure it out. They're 7-4, and this playoff race is just only going to get tighter and tighter. So they gotta start winning some games, and to keep up with the playoff run, because let's not forget the Baltimore Ravens. They won 5 straight. They're 5-5, and I mean, if they keep going, they could be a possible sleeper, for this playoff. So you never know, but we have to see how the season pans out. Everything else like that. Like this game that's going to be coming up this week, which I'm very surprised with. I think this is a pretty big game, but some people, maybe it might not be, it might be, but I think for one team it is, and it's for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be playing against my Colts in Arrowhead at 1:00. My Colts went on the bye last week, like I talked about, but this is a win that we kind of need, I think, to start off the questions and the naysayers saying that, is this team a real good team? Arrowhead's going to be crazy. It's going to be a nutshell. I mean, I think this is also a must win for the Chiefs, because if they lose this might be a problem, because they've been really struggling during the season. But, my ultimate goal, I think, for this is that I hope that we just go out there and just ball out. That's what we could do. I know that the defense will be without DeForest Buckner, which is another kind of a loss for us. But, because our run defense does not, go through, our run defense is through him, really, to be honest with you. And I feel like it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a really tough one to figure out on what's going to happen, in this game. But I have a lot of confidence in my Colts. I do believe that, hopefully Daniel Jones did go over the last 2 games that he played, and he could just come out, as long as he comes out, no interceptions, and just gives it his all. I think I'll be satisfied with that, because it's Daniel Jones, and I think he's proved a lot this season so far. And I think for him, he needs this win. So I feel like he should get in here, just lock in and just do what you got to do. The defense overall, you really got to stop Patrick Mahomes. You got to contain him. It's it's not going to be easy and stuff like that. But, I just feel like we got to figure out, what one way to stop him, whatever way it is, we have to find a way to stop him. But in my opinion, I think, the Colts get it done. I think that's my pick. I believe in it. I think we can beat the Chiefs. They are beatable. I think it's going to be a great game, a tight game, and I think we can win in Arrowhead. I do believe it. We've done it before with Jacoby Brissett and a much less a defense that wasn't as top as what we have right now in corners and all that. So I will give you that. Like, I think I think it's going to be a really great game. But like I said, I got my Chiefs. I would go 31-24. That's my score. I think a high scoring game. I think JT goes off. I think we could do it. All right. Next game we got going on this one. We got the Steelers and Bears. Both teams are looking good. We don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and his hand. He did hurt his hand last game. He did not come back. Mason Rudolph played. Mason Rudolph has right now so far. We don't know what's going on with that wrist, that left hand wrist. So Aaron Rodgers, is going to be going into Chicago, a known place that he's been to before plenty of times. So go back in there and tell him that, who's your daddy, because he's done that before. I own you, or, I call them my owners, whatever it is. But this Bears team is different from before. They got Caleb Williams, who's been playing very well, a head coach in Ben Johnson that really believes in this team, a defense that is pretty good, and a team that can, that's been really doing their thing so far. And they're 3-1 at home, and it's going to be cold. And I know it's not going to bother. We don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play, but I'm going to go for the Bears on this one. I think the Bears win one in a tight one. It's going to be a rough one. I think it's going to be a rough game. So I would go 27-24 Bears. That's my pick. All right. Another one. We got a big matchup. Not really a big matchup, but a matchup that needs to be, discussed. Another 1:00. The Patriots against the Bengals. It's going to be in Cincinnati. We all know the Bengals have not had the season that we expected them to have. And they're going to be without Jamar Chase. As we all know, I talked about it in my last podcast. The last game, he had a tussle with Jalen Ramsey, spit on him. Jamar Chase spit on Jalen Ramsey, and that's what brought out that big fight, which, we know in that type of act, you don't do that. It's very disrespectful. I don't know what he was thinking at that moment. I know that he was probably frustrated with how the game and how the outcome of the game went. But, you can't take your frustration out like that, especially a star receiver that you are in that caliber. I know that you're frustrated. I know that things haven't gone the way that you wanted it to go, but we have to honestly figure out, this is what it is. And for him, that's a big loss for them. But the Bengals, I think their season, I think also their head coach is on the hot seat now. Maybe he gets another year. I don't know. But if they keep losing games, I think he might get the hot seat. Maybe he will. I don't know. But yeah, it's just bad. It just looks bad. So I think the Patriots go in here and, take care of business. Even if Joe Burrow doesn't come back, I don't think it makes sense for them to play him, because what's the point? You guys are 3-7. You're about to be 3-8. It's just been a whirlwind of stuff that's been going on with the Bengals. This team is just all over the place. So we got to figure it out. Yeah, but, moving on, we got the Giants against the Lions. Jackson Dart is still not cleared from concussion protocol. I think the Lions go in here and get, their beat down, I think, on the Giants. Really, there's just so much going on with the Giants. They haven't been good away. They're 0-6 right now. So I just think the Bears go in there and thrash them, especially in Detroit. I think that's just my honest opinion. This one, we got a pretty good rivalry matchup. Minnesota Vikings against the Packers. That's going to be at Lambeau. Packers can, keep rolling the dice. Minnesota has to figure out something. If they want to be playoff contenders, they got to start winning. And this is the type of matchup they need to win if they want to do it. I know J.J. McCarthy hasn't been working out so far since he has been coming back from injury, but I firmly believe that, things need to now. So we have to just see what's going to happen. But I believe that things need to change for the Vikings if they want to make a playoff series run. But the Packers, Jordan Love has been doing amazing. I love what he's been up to. He has been really balling out, and I think he helped his team. So I got the Packers in Lambeau Field. I think they keep running the train. I think they're doing their stuff. So I got the Packers on that one. Seahawks against Titans. Titans are, the Titans. So I'm definitely rolling with Seahawks on that one, because Sam Darnold and I think JSN is going to have a field day on them. That's what I see. Jets going to play against the Ravens in Baltimore. Yeah, Ravens. They're going to get their 6th win on that one if they play correctly. If they don't, I don't know. They're in jeopardy. Browns against Raiders. That's a pretty good game. I think the Raiders should get the win. But also, if they play Shador, I'll go. I really don't care. But you know what? I'll go with. It'll be cool to see the Browns win. I don't know. The Raiders, they just haven't had the season. Then we got the Jaguars against the Cardinals. I got the Jaguars on that one. They get the win on that one. Another pretty big time matchup that's going to be in Dallas. We got Eagles against Cowboys. That's a good one. Cowboys need to get this win if they want to talk serious. But Eagles Eagles got the last one. I love all my Eagles fans. Sorry, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one. I think they win one. They sneak one out. Close one. Probably end up winning in a field goal. I say 24-21, I think. All right. Another one, we got Falcons against the Saints. As you all heard, Michael Penix Jr. is out for the season with a knee injury. So now it's Kirk Cousins' time. And, the Saints are the Saints. It's going to be in... Do the Falcons end their losing streak here, or they keep adding to one? I don't know, because we don't know which Kirk Cousins we're going to get. And, the Saints don't have nothing else to lose because they're just, playing with fire. So they're just, all guns blazing out. But I'll go with the I'll go with the Falcons. Why not? Then we got the Buccaneers versus the Rams. This is going to be a good one. Ooh, Rams have been balling out. They're 8-2. Yeah, so now I feel a little more confident in that loss to the Rams because this team is good. I didn't expect them to be this good, but yeah, they're doing their thing. Pretty good matchup. But right now, Matthew Stafford is balling, and that offense is looking great. The defense is doing their thing. I got the Rams. I think the Rams pull another one out. But, nothing against Baker because Baker's been doing his thing too. The Buccaneers can definitely, sneak one in too. So it'll be a tight one, but I got the Rams because I just feel like the Rams are more fully healthy and they have the players to, get the job done. And then the Monday night game, the Panthers against 49ers. Now, this is a big one because if the Panthers get this win, this can really help them in the playoff terms. 49ers have been doing their thing. CMC is just balling out as usual because he's just the front piece. And that's why that man is always so banged up and injured because they only go through him. But right now, the 49ers are 7-4. So even the amount of losses they've had in defense between Fred Warner and Nick Bosa being out for the season, they're still holding up. So, we'll have to wait and see. But this one's a good one. This is going to be a good matchup, man. And I feel like if the Panthers get this win, they can be talked about a little bit seriously because, Bryce Young, this team, they got something going on. And I'm liking it. And they're 3-3 away. And it's going to be at home, Niners land. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to think about. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Panthers. Why not? They come in with the upset. I got them. I go with the Panthers. Why not? Yeah. And then bye week, Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers, and Commanders. Okay, pretty legit. That's what it is on that one. So those are my picks for week 11 of NFL. All right. Next thing we're going to go into is college football. As so many things have been going on and things like that. There's some pretty big games up this weekend, which is going to be happening. We also have some games that teams need to win. There's going to be a pretty big game, a lot of big games going on. I think this week before we end college football next week, the regular season is going to be gone. So there's some ones that need to get taken care of, and there's some teams that need to lose if they want to switch up the, is it going to be madness or is it going to be, could be very interesting how things turn around. But yeah, so far we got let me talk about the pretty big games that are going to be happening this week real quick. I said, so we have the USC versus Oregon game. That's a big one. USC could go into Eugene and beat Oregon and probably mess up their college football chances. It's going to be a good one. I think that's going to be a really good game. USC is really surprising this year. They have kept up. They have done their job. They're 8-2, which is very surprising. We all know about Oregon. They started out great, and then that loss to Indiana really hurt them. So that's been, holding them back a little bit from, getting the Big Ten championship. But yeah, that was a big loss for them. But they kind of got their self back. They beat Iowa, in a close one and things like that. But, this one's another tough one that's going to be in Eugene. And I'm very surprised with this one. This is going to be a highly thought out game. I think it's going to be very entertaining. This is a good one because USC could go in here and win. But Oregon has to figure out a way, how they're going to do this. Because if they get this win, then they can definitely certify their spot in the college playoffs. But if they get this loss, then this is looking a little shaky. Looking a little shaky here, buddy. Looking a little shaky here. I don't know, but Eugene, yeah, but they lost in Eugene too. I mean, I'm gonna go with Oregon on this one by a close one. I'll say by a touchdown. I say 27 to Oregon. That's my pick for that one. Ohio State's playing Rutgers. Who knows? I mean, but it's at Ohio State. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. Missouri playing Oklahoma. That's a good one. Oklahoma did come off a big win against Alabama last weekend, and it's going to be in Oklahoma. So we'll have to see about that. Missouri, I think Oklahoma gets the win on this one. Or, Missouri could come out and play, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I got Oklahoma on that one. Miami's going against Virginia Tech. Shout out to Virginia Tech. They actually got James Franklin as the next head coach. Good for them. Miami's going to win that one. There's not really a lot of big games this weekend, quite honestly. Duke against North Carolina. That's going to be at Chapel Hill. I got Duke on that one. Michigan against Maryland. Nebraska against Penn State. It's going to be at Penn State. Could I see Nebraska losing another one? Could be. Yeah. You know what? I'll go with Nebraska. I don't know. I'll go with Nebraska on that one. Pittsburgh against Georgia Tech. Now, that's a good one. That's a good one. And that's going to be an Pittsburgh's a good team. They have some good players. I'll go with Georgia Tech, but it'll be a tight one. Tennessee against Florida, and it's going to be in Florida. I think Tennessee goes in there and does their thing, but which Florida we know is going to come out. I don't know. Anything else? Yeah, nothing really much else. It's not a lot of big time games, I would say. It's more, I think it's just anticipating for, next week as it's rivalry week. Notre Dame against Syracuse. Syracuse is not the team that we thought they were going to be. They're 3-7. I think they're losing their starting quarterback really hurt their, chances and really has hurt the team. But yeah, it's not really a lot of big games this weekend. But those are my picks for week 13. As we know, things are going to get a lot crazier, and then we're going to finish off at the end where we're going to have a lot of pretty good games. And, it's rivalry week, so we know what that's going to be going like. But yeah, so far, all right, the next sport I want to go into, the NBA, and what's been going on in the standings so far. Detroit Pistons, they're doing their thing. They're killing it right now. The Detroit Pistons are really killing it. I love what they're doing. I love how, they're just, working through everything. They're doing their things. They've been doing their Cade Cunningham has really been balling out. I love his game. They're 7-1 at home, 5-1 away. That's good. That's a good record so far. They're looking good. The Toronto Raptors have surprised a couple people, but they're doing good so far. This team, young team, but they can ball out. So you never know what happens. Things can always change up. New York Knicks are right behind them. They're the 3 seed. They got a pretty good win against the Dallas Mavericks. Crazy one, a little shaky, but we got it done. Cleveland Cavaliers is right next to them. Then you got the Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers, Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks, Orlando Magic, then the Boston Celtics. The Milwaukee Bucks are close to the middle. And then Charlotte, Brooklyn, Indiana, and Washington right now are not looking great. They're not having really a great season so far as we go, into this. But, I like what I'm seeing from the East. A lot of good things. As right now, let's see what Detroit and, Toronto provide. What can they, if they keep their hot run going. I mean, I believe that Detroit's definitely going to be a playoff team. I think, the run that they had last year against the New York Knicks was sensational. I think they did amazing. Also, they are a young team, but, JP Bickerstaff, he's killing it. He's really coaching those kids. He's getting them to play ball and love the game. And so that's really what the thing is. So good start for them. I like it. Like I said, the Toronto Raptors, they're doing their thing right now. I like what they're seeing. We'll see what happens, with that. With this team, they do have Brandon Ingram, still RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, really good players, and some good role players. They did some things, and they have a really great coach who's a young coach, but he knows what he's doing, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. So we'll just have to wait up and see how things turn out to be. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. So that's what I have to say about that one. New York Knicks, my Knicks, I love them. Jalen Brunson came off a nasty injury. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he recovers so fast, how he does it, but he's a strong-willed dude. A couple injuries. I don't know. I think OG's still out. I haven't been watching too much so far because I've just been so busy. But other than that, I mean, I love what I'm seeing from them. I mean, there's been a couple of losses that they lost, but I mean, it is what it is. Cat is doing his thing. he's balling out. I think Mike Brown has done some stuff, but we'll see what happens later on. It's still very early in the season, so you gotta love what you see. Cleveland Cavaliers, there's a lot of people speculating they can take the East this year, and I could see it too because they have a very good team, solid team. But right now they're struggling a little bit. But I mean, it is. I mean, the last 10 games they've been 7-3. So have the Knicks. So it's looking good. But Donovan Mitchell is just it just has to go up to. I think it's really up to Donovan Mitchell and like where he wants to take his team because he is the firm person out there. So he can literally take this team to the heights, or they can crumble like they did in the playoffs last year. So we'll just have to see. But I mean, he's a great player overall. I think he's fantastic. I love him. It's just really up to, the Cavs players, like how much they really want it, and they can have a really great season this year, in my opinion. Miami, after the Jimmy Butler saga, everything else is a whole brand new team. Eric Spoelstra is the man. He's a great coach, and he does what he does. And this team just has to figure it out. I think they're starting on a good route. So that's good for them. They still got Bam. I think Bam is injured right now with a toe injury. So there's a lot of injuries that have been going around in the NBA. I do have been seeing that on social media, when Binyama is hurt, stuff like that. So the thing about it is like injuries, when your star player starts getting injured a lot, it really hurts your team sometimes, their chemistry and all that kind of stuff, because they could have a great chemistry. They could not, who knows? But, they're looking good. Philly right now, they don't have Joel Embiid. I think he's out with a knee injury as well. Mr. Made of Glass, that's what I call him. Until he can play a couple of straight games, for maybe a week or two, then I'll stop making fun of him. But, he's Mr. Made Out of Glass. But they're looking good so far. They're doing their things. Hopefully, they got to figure it out because, it's just like if they don't make it to the playoffs this year, then I think there's just a whole big turmoil and a fire sale going out. Chicago, they're doing their thing. Young team, figure it out. So they do their stuff. Atlanta, yeah, they're good too. You have to give them that. Orlando, kind of little shots like how they've been, falling down so much, right now. But, I think it's still early on in the season. Things can change. You just got to give them time. Boston, they are without Jason Tatum. But, I think Jaylen Brown could, lead the team this season and do their thing and do his thing. But, right now they're struggling. Giannis, right now with the Milwaukee Bucks, they're 8-8 with Doc, a 3-game losing streak. All right. You wanted to stay. This is what it is. I don't know. You're going to be a free agent next year. I think Giannis hype is just going nuts, especially with this whole Knicks thing. I just feel like, what, let's just play out the season, see how it goes, and just keep it running from there. But honestly, from that, I think, it's just, yeah, these teams are, I'll have to see what happens, We'll have to see what happens, but very interesting. With in the Western Conference right now, OKC, number 1 seed. Then you got the Denver Nuggets. Then you got Houston Rockets, Los Angeles Lakers, San Diego Spurs, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, Suns, Golden State Warriors, Portland Trailblazers, Utah Jazz, Memphis Grizzlies, the Clippers, Dallas Mavericks, Sacramento Kings, and New Orleans Pelicans are not doing great right now. As the New Orleans Pelicans did fire their head coach, Willie Green, so he's out. Willie Green's tenure as a coach is out. I feel like that was coming soon. Then we got, all these, like the reigning champs right now. OKC, they're the team to beat. They're going to be great. They got a young team, championship team. So now they know what they're doing. They're starting off great, starting off with a great season, things like that. Denver looking good, just looking good. I mean, Jokic, best player in the planet right now. He's just balling out and doing his thing. Him and Jamal Murray, they're all doing good. I mean, whoever thought Denver was going to go away anytime soon? And I don't think that's going to happen. And that's just my honest opinion about it. My whole thing is, they could do something. They could. Houston took a big chance getting Kevin Durant, and that's been working out very well so far with Ume Adoka, and this team looks they're striving right now. And I think they needed a veteran like KD to come in and be like, yo, play this way, play that way, looking good. Lakers, LeBron's back finally, and they're looking good. They did well without LeBron while he was out, and now LeBron's back. I think that really helps them, momentum and everything else. They're looking good so far. JJ Redick is doing his thing, even though I think also the Minnesota Timberwolves head coach took a shot at JJ Redick with a whole like how he became a podcaster and then a head coach. He's like, yeah, made a joke, but I mean, JJ Redick is JJ Redick, so hey, let's see what this season brings. I think Aiden has done a pretty magnificent job so far since being part of the team as the center. So, and I don't know, Lakers looking good. San Antonio are without Wembanyama right now, and I mean, I think that's a little bit. See, it's a calf, so got to give some time. You can't mess with those calves, especially. I think Dallas is dealing with the same thing with Anthony Davis, and you never know because it could be an Achilles, and they don't want that to be happening. So let them see how they go, how it goes, and how you could just keep it moving. Yeah, man. Minnesota's doing their thing. So, teams that have been really surprising, teams that have been really disappointing. Memphis has not been doing great. John Morant is not happy. Could be a possible trade. I don't know. We'll see. Things can always shake it up in the NBA, and I think they're going to figure out something. A surprising team so far, I would have to go with me right now. Houston Rockets. I think since getting Kevin Durant, they have surprised me a little bit. I don't know if he was going to slow them down or bring them up. I know KD just loves to play ball, so that's it. But yeah, I would have to go with the Houston Rockets. So also, I'll go with the Lakers too because I didn't know if DeAndre Ayton was going to work out, but he's been doing good so far. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But they're looking good. Austin Reeves has been balling. He's been doing his thing. They got a nice little squad. I mean, there's a couple of white boys on the Lakers that are just killing it right now. And AR is doing his thing. AR's doing his thing, and then you got Luka too. Luka's about to Luka's wilding out too. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun. But like I said, I'll just keep going through the NBA, looking for things that's what's going on, big games, stuff like that. We know the Christmas is gonna be coming up very soon, so that's gonna happen when they have those big games going on. Yeah, but I'm just So that's what's really been happening so far in the NBA. Next topic, I want to move on to little NHL. Want to talk a little bit. Yeah, my New York Rangers are they're not really cutting it right now. I don't know what's going on. They need to lock in and figure out something. Like they started out with a good little win streak. Now in the last 5 games, we've been 5-5. Yeah, there's like no sense of urgency. I don't know what's going on. Whole new head coach, still the same kind of thing. It's just it's very frustrating. I don't know what else it could be, but to be quite honest, I just think as a Rangers fan, it is just I don't know. Like, how could a season like this, you got a whole new captain, things have been turning to turmoil. I know Chris Jury's job is definitely on watch right now. I think if they don't do anything this year, he's definitely gone. I think after firing multiple coaches now, things have just not been turning out great for us. So my thing is, I don't know, we got to figure it out, but the Rangers are not cutting it right now. They're not really cutting it. And I don't know what they need to do, like light a fire, do something very interesting. But it's just really not cutting it. And I don't know how a team like this, I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike Sullivan is a great head coach. I mean, he's won the 2 Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh. I feel like he just doesn't have the right pieces to help him. We all know about the Panarin saga. This is his last year on his contract. The Rangers wanted to give him a little smaller deal this season with a less pay, something like that, but he wants maximum. So we don't know what that's going on. Some people want him gone, think that it's time for him to go because it makes no sense to be paying a 34, 35-year-old a whole lot of money. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's just, it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough. Igor Shesterkin is doing everything that he can, and then this team is just letting him down. I feel, JT Miller as a captain. I mean, it's just been so surprising how this team turned out 2 years ago when they went on that crazy run and they were probably like 2 games away from the Stanley Cup, like from Florida and all that kind of stuff, and then how they played and then just got manhandled. And then I think, with Peter Laviette saga, all that stuff, and then now how's it gotten to this? It's like, I guess you can blame it on Drury, or you could blame it on some other things, but I don't know. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen. It's a tough one. It's really a tough one. But that's what it is. But other than that, we got the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix coming up. That's going to be ending release. That's going to be this weekend. It's a big one, and I love what I saw, and it's just great. And it's going to be a great race between Norris and Piastri. He's doing his thing, so that'll be a crazy race. We'll get into that next time. But yeah, you know what? I just wanted to talk really quickly on Friday, and see what's been going on with the thing. I'll come back this weekend with you guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back with you next week on Eli's Corner. This is episode 98, and I am Eli, your host. Thank you guys for tuning in. Keep supporting me. Love it. Thank you so much for all your time. Have a good night, guys. All right. Bye-bye.